How the mighty have fallen.
Should we bring up? Are you going to put 1990 Crow's review in your bads?
We're in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, it's delayed, isn't it?
Wow, 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 wow,
Can't
wow,
watch.
wow, 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 wow. This is
Are we in?
transmission sounds. Wow, 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 wow.
Say,
Hello.
Oh, wait, are we
is
live?
that you?
Live. Shut up, Dan.
Some old man.
I'm having a
shit going.
nightmare.
Oh, all right. Let's do it.
I don't know if the chat's working. Does that matter?
The chat's ready to display messages, it says.
Does it? Is it?
Yeah.
It says stream finished.
All right, let's go. That's a quick pod.
Nice and snappy. That's what you're known for, isn't it?
We can only assume that one of Ben's priorities is watching this from home.
I'm sure it's a nice backdrop to whatever he's
Yeah.
trying to deal with.
Yeah.
Get rid of this thing. It just doesn't go away. I don't need to see it.
Oh, that bit.
Oh, hello. Hey, Wilmus.
Are we live?
Yeah.
We're still live?
There we go. Now it's working.
Oh, look, it should be Rip Snorter.
Which one was that? What'd you press? Tablet? It's your favourite button.
It is.
All right.
Come on, we've got 8 people watching. We've got 9 people watching. We're not doing anything, so...
Oh, wow, Lauren.
Let's get started.
Come on.
Anyone who's single.
Hello, welcome to Here We Crow. We're doing this shit again. Episode 84. We're back. We're back after
We are
another,
Do we
I don't
wanna
know,
be here?
dismal, annoying, frustrating
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Episode 84. It was the year I was born. 84.
1984 is the year you were born.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm old.
Emma. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you.
Welcome, Sam.
Hello, Lauren.
And
We got there.
We are Benless this week, as you can probably tell from the lack of Ben Cam. But we do have our very special guest, sometimes feature co-host, sometimes caller-innerer, always commentating. It's Kate.
Hello.
Welcome back, Kate.
Hi.
Hello,
Thanks
Kate.
for having me. I was always just going to call and insert myself anyway into the show, so you may as well have me here.
Actually, I've just realised that the one message we got over the weekend, I think, was from you. Was it? Was it
Did I
from
send
you?
one?
Did you call us?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well, whoever did sounds exactly like you. I'll tell you that
My
right
vocal
now.
doppelganger.
I know,
so
it's
what
weird.
you can expect is a bit more upward vocal tonality tonight, as opposed to the usual monotone of Ben.
Yes, but of course we do have some stats for the number 84,
Yes.
and because Ben's not here, Kate's going to do them.
Shoes to fill. I didn't come up with these, so thanks, Ben, for these. I'm just reading them on his behalf. So 84. Our 84th debut player was Trent Orman-Allen, bit of a
Yes.
cult favourite he was back in the day. So he played from 1997 to 1999. That doesn't sound long
The
enough.
glory years.
42 games, 18 games in 97, Ben says, and 15 in 98, but he missed both grand finals. My core memory of him is going in the ruck against
Yes.
Spider Everett when we had no chance of beating St Kilda and we won.
Is that the game where
bloody
like,
move, that one.
Sean Wren did his knee or something? No,
I
maybe
think it
not.
was just after,
He did
maybe.
it before.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah. So, yeah, okay. Now, in our 2017 showdown, we won by 84 points. That was the biggest of all our showdown wins.
Yeah,
Nice.
Bozza. I hope you're listening to that, Bozza. This time, Bozza. Hello.
Got very angry at that and was wrong.
He did. We had to timestamp Bozza last time because he missed us talking about the
Yeah,
showdown.
he skips ahead to his segment. He'll listen to the rest of the podcast.
Yeah, that's right. How do I sound in the sauna?
And now that was the game where Sauce Jacobs won the showdown medal, and goals. Eddie Betts kicked 4, Jenkins kicked 4, and Tex kicked 3. So that was a
Thanks for that,
memorable
Ben.
one.
Yeah.
I'd just like
No
to
one kicked
interject.
84 goals though.
No,
No.
but I do like the amount of players with red hair so far: Trent Ormondale and
Yes.
Sam Jacobs.
Oh,
So,
true.
yeah.
And then there's the last but not least, the players who were born in 84, like Dan. So we've got Jason Porplecia,
Porpoise.
Bryce Campbell.
Yeah, he was probably ginger.
Name rings a bell.
Probably.
He was.
Probably ginger.
And one of the cute blondies, Luke Jericho, had a bit of a crush on him back in the day.
Got heaps of cute
Brother of
blondies.
Chris.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good stats, Kate. I mean,
Thanks.
Ben. Thanks for reading them,
thanks.
Kate.
Thanks,
Everyone's
Ben.
going to see your shit jokes in like HD.
They're all just going to see me laughing at my own jokes.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you
That
very
guy's
much,
a
Kate.
dick.
Those are the 84 stats, and we're going to be talking about the loss to Freo and also some other things probably. We've got a lot to say. I think we've got plenty to say. Let's pump this shit up.
Music.
Cool drinks.
Oh my God, is anything pumping anyone up?
Look, I'm going to stop everybody.
Yeah.
I'm just going to
Oh.
interrupt the podcast because I've got something to say. We've all been a bit down.
You have to
Yeah.
leave.
No,
this is
no,
scary.
Glorious Bakery Treats.
no, sorry, no. But we've all been down, and we all needed a bit of an extra pump up this week. I thought. So
Yeah?
I just
You
wanted
brought
to.
cocaine.
No, I've got a story to pump us up.
Oh,
tonight.
all right.
So,
Give us it.
so Ben came round to my house on the weekend, and my house is atrocious. It's just a
Well,
mess.
You're about to nest.
But worst part is my hedges are really poor.
Oh.
Oh, here we go.
I think
So-
this is
Getting
venturing into a bit
exciting.
of Ben's
Yeah.
backyard.
So he's like, look, I can't have this. I'm gonna have to bring around my hedge trimmer.
Is this why he's not here tonight?
It might be.
Yeah,
So,
just
Racing
took
the
him
hedge
out.
trimmer.
I'll stop interrupting.
yeah,
Go on.
thank you. So anyway, so he brought his hedge trimmer around and left me some notes. And he said, or his main call to me was, "You've got to be cruel to be kind."
Okay.
Oh.
So he said, "You've." This is going somewhere. Trust me. You've got to
Sure.
teach the plant to have a little bit of adversity.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
All right. So
We've
and
heard
so,
this from Ben before.
Yeah.
I'm having deja vu right now.
but I don't know if anyone in the chat's picked up on this. This is what Ned McHenry told the Crows on the weekend in his pre-game speech,
Oh.
Is it?
word for word, except replace Ben for Tex.
Oh, wow.
Wait,
That was his story. He said it on the radio tonight.
Oh, my God.
So Ned's garden was a mess. Tex brought around a hedge trimmer
Oh, right.
and told him that you got to be cruel to be kind to the plant. You got to introduce some adversity to the plant, and that was a story he told to pump the team up before the game on Friday night.
Well, Ned,
Wow, it all makes
seemed to
sense
do
So
now.
fuck all.
how pumped up are you feeling now after hearing that?
I reckon I could run out onto a footy field and lose to Fremantle right now.
And the end of the moral of the
Talk
story
about
is
adversity.
I know.
They were like, yeah, we need some of that adversity.
Yeah.
and the end of the story is all the plants are dead.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I just thought I'd bring that in because I heard that in the car on the way here. Ned was on 5AA.
There has been a lot of talk about Nev doing the rev up.
Nev.
Ned Rev.
Ned Rev.
Ned.
He's had Edward this year.
Revving
Neville,
up Ned.
Neville McHenry.
Oh God, what's his name?
Ned
Ed McKendall.
McKendall.
Yeah, a lot of chat about that. I think like we as Crows fans understand it. People outside of Crows fans don't really get it though.
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like-
yeah, I do.
Like we get it.
Yeah, he was just given. He just said he was given the opportunity, and he also said that he probably may never get the opportunity again. So yeah, he was being realistic about it at least.
Sure.
So,
Good on him.
Yeah.
Is there any? Well, that's pumped Sam up. Is there anything pumping you up, Dan?
I'll tell you what's pumping me up. Baby capybaras. So Gorge Wildlife Park yesterday. Went along. I recommend, if you haven't been out there, get down. It's very busy at the moment because of the capybaras, I think. But if you pay a bit of money, you can feed them. We didn't do that because we missed out. Went too late. But they're very cute. They all have the same face. Like all of them. It's strange.
Well, getting quick because it's school holidays soon, so it'll be a fucking nightmare. Kate, anything pumping you up this week?
Yeah, look, I'm a bit pumped because I'm going to be an auntie in a couple of months. So first, I've been an honorary auntie to friends' kids, but yes, my sister and her husband are expecting late June, early July. So
there's literally babies everywhere.
Yeah, I know. Something in the water a few months back.
Hopefully not my water.
Just don't drink the water here at TA.
Yeah. Look, I got to say, nothing much is really pumping me up, but I did get pretty pumped up on Sunday when I made a delicious cob loaf for the family lunch, and everyone. Do you know half my family had never heard of a cob loaf?
What?
My auntie, who is like 70 or nearly 70, didn't know what a cob loaf was. I was like,
tragedy.
What? She was like questioning me every move. What are you doing that for? Why are you putting the bread in the oven? And I'm like, I'm toasting it. And so you just put the dip in there. And I'm like, what the fuck planet have you come from, Auntie Anne?
Bit of a shout out to Elodie from the Project too. I saw earlier she posted a mini cob loaf that she
did.
had.
Yes, and more pubs need to do mini cob loaves.
Such a
the
crowd
Golden Wattle
pleaser.
did one at one point.
Yeah.
Oh, delicious. The best. I remember I got it once and it was so indulgent. Great. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about this game.
Do we have to?
Yeah, I mean, we do have to. I don't even know. What was the score? Can someone tell me?
Don't remember at all.
I don't have that on my notes.
All right, we don't care. Clearly, we lost badly to Fremantle. It was a painful watch.
9:15.69 to 4:10.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you very much.
Very poor.
I mean, look, what can we say that hasn't already been said in the last few days about our performance? We just look like a team who is completely lost. We don't have any connection between our lines. We're constantly playing down the wing for some reason. We're not making any, exciting, risky moves through the corridor. We're kind of just let Fremantle get that run through the corridor as soon as they took an intercept or, managed to get the turnover. And we were absolutely nowhere. And we seemed to be out of position a lot. Obviously, our defence had a lot to do on Friday night. But even, they're obviously totally gassed. But even so, they were caught out of position or, 2 metres off the pace of their man a lot during the game. And it is, after 3 weeks of this, it is really concerning. Where has this come from? Why haven't we carried over that momentum from last year? And I think we'll have a lot to say about what Matthew Nicks has said in the last couple of days about the reasons why that's not coming on for us. But I don't really get, there's a lot of... I think one thing that frustrates me a lot about the Crows messaging is that they kind of treat us like we're idiots. It does feel like that a little bit.
That's been like that for 15 years.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like at this point, all the press conferences you're doing and the interviews you're doing, you're talking to Crows fans.
Yeah.
And you just saying the, regular back the boys in or, we've got things to work on. It's not just one thing, it's many things. Like, what are the things? Just say it. What are the things? Just give us anything. We've kind of been totally blitzed in the media this week, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But everyone who's pointed out, there's some pretty crucifying vision of how we're playing football right now.
Yeah.
It is embarrassing.
Yeah.
And I don't know how anyone can be watching that and then taking on board this, back the boys in. We're just not clicking for some reason. Well, there's clearly more to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
What have you guys got to say?
Well, I thought
Hit
we
me.
started. I've got heaps of notes because I actually sat through the whole replay today due to being out at a gig on Friday night. But
Not even a KO Mini.
no, I watched the whole thing.
Yeah,
I put myself through the pain because I was like, I need to have some things to
Unbelievable.
say.
Yeah.
But I knew it. I've got this weird, like, obviously I want the Crows to be successful, but when we're doing this bad, I find it really intriguing to understand what's going on under the surface. And I thought we actually came out with pretty good intent in the first quarter.
No, it's Ned McHenry.
Yeah. Yeah. There was lots of, I think we had, as that cliche goes, had the game on our terms for a lot of the first quarter. But there was a few pivotal moments where, again, our kicking let us down. The forwards actually did have some opportunities. All Burgess, Fogg and Walker all missed gettable goals that they should have been able to kick. You kick those 3 goals, the game is in a completely different different vibe to where it was. And
Definitely.
When Freo started to get chances second quarter, third quarter, they had Giant Amos and Tabiner be able to kick goals that Walker and all that, and Walker and Burgess and Fogg missed. So similar type, distance away and things like that. But there was a few other things. Obviously, Keane, there's rumours that he's got a broken jaw. I think that happened pretty early in the game, and he seemed to play on. So I don't know.
Is Bozza the only one who said that, or is it
I
coming
haven't
out
heard
anywhere?
that.
Yeah,
I haven't heard much more
I
about
also
it.
saw on the news that he was right to go, so he
Yeah.
did
Good.
cop a knee to the face.
Yeah, he got that pretty early, but
yeah.
he kept going. So I'm assuming he'll be all right
He's
unless
probably
he
used to copping hits to the face.
needs
like that.
surgery or something. But yeah, I think, I just made note Worrell made a few early mistakes. Obviously, he's under the pump. He had a free that resulted in a goal. Miller, before he did his injury, I thought wasn't too good either. Like lots of unforced errors and whatnot, bad kicks. I think the biggest thing for me with the back line now is how inexperienced it really is. Smith's been horrible. It was his best game out of the 3, but that still wasn't good.
Yes.
Like he
Wasn't
started
great.
well, but his disposal's horrible. He just bomb kicks and things like that. There were some good examples in there as well that he did all right. So that's what made the game a bit better. And his intent was, he was taking a couple of good marks and whatnot. But he is literally the most experienced guy with Miller out as well. Miller is not as experienced, but he's the next best. From here, we've got Hinge, Michaelini, Woozle, Mark Keane, and Chase Jones, who's just seems to be nowhere at the moment as well. Like he's just in
Same
and
with
out.
Hinge. Hinge is a shadow. of what he
Hinge's
used to be, what he was
Hinge's
last year too.
disposal's been horrendous
Yeah,
as
it
well.
has.
Like you
Yeah.
can't trust it, and they're probably going to bring Butts back. He's pretty flimsy at best as well. He's a good one-on-one defender, but doesn't offer much else outside of that. So we're in a bit of trouble there. I think with the amount the ball is coming in to the defence, the damn wall's going to break, and it did break the other night eventually. Like they held it up for 3 quarters. It was halfway through the last that we really were out of the game, but up to that point we were pretty much in, but we just couldn't attack. There was no attack at all. Everything broke down sort of before the 50 arc due to bad choices with some of the kicks and going long instead of going short, vice versa. It was just lots of bad decision making throughout the game. Tex was cooked; he couldn't do much at all.
A lot of that was in that vision that I mentioned, that Kane Corns showed on the roundup, and also was shown on Fox Footy at some point as well. Like so many parts of the game there where we had options short and they were just ignored for the long bomb.
Yeah,
And
round
it's
the body long bomb too. not
Yeah,
even-
and why aren't we lowering the eyes? Why aren't we looking for those easy targets? Why are we challenging ourselves so much to the point that it's detrimental? I just don't get it.
Another player who I think, despite his obvious intent that he always comes in with, McHenry, made so many mistakes. There was one where he got the ball and could have just hooked onto his left to Tex, who was on his own, and he turned around and then balked and then got caught holding the ball. And it was just you had to play it free.
It has to be like a confidence in the game plan sort of thing,
It's
doesn't
also
it?
are they talking to each other out there? There was Tex and Fogg spoiling each other at one stage. Are they calling each other out?
But how many times did you see in that, even just in that short TikTok video, they highlighted how many, there was 3 or 4 options for them short, and they just completely ignored them for the long bomb. And if that's it, surely we're not being coached that way. Surely the option isn't when you get the ball, bomb it long, but
No, they
what
seem
are
to
we
be
telling them?
panicking.
Yeah, it's a
It's a
panic.
panic
Yeah.
station.
And then is the panic? The panic has to stem from somewhere because they weren't panicking last year when we looked like a free-flowing attacking side that used to be able to run the ball from defence as well as any team.
That's exactly what I said to Dan on the way here. Like, why hasn't that clicked over into this year? It doesn't really make sense.
No.
And, Matthew Nicks has stood up in the press conference like twice now saying it's just not clicking how it should. He did this. He was doing the exact same press conferences this time last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be saying the exact same thing. Like, it just, surely we've improved to a point.
To me, not clicking how it should doesn't answer that every line of our team is struggling now. Like, there's not one person that's out there playing well. Like, they're all struggling.
And we talked about the loss of Rahili too. Now, I know like Scott Burns is the forward coach now, but how much is he really changing? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously what was working, like what we were doing when James was there was working. So would we really, is Scott Burns kind of that arrogant that he's just gone, nah, fuck it, we're changing the whole fucking plan? Like,
Well,
Kate,
I'd
you've got
certainly
notes and I
bloody
want you
hope
to
not.
talk. Yeah, me too. Kate's got notes. I want to hear from Kate because Kate's got good insight.
Oh God, no. Yeah, look, I agree with like everything you guys are saying. I totally agree with, and there's only one way of understanding it that I've been able to kind of grapple onto that kind of makes sense to me overall. Because I feel like, yeah, we're hearing the same things from the club that we heard about how we played, 2 years ago, and we did think we were seeing evidence that we're moving past that, and how can that all go backwards? And I remember pre-season when Fox Footy were giving, like all their commentators were giving their predictions, and obviously there was a lot of focus on what David King said, but what Lee Montagna said was this might be a dip year for the Crows in their development. This might be a year where they plateau. And I read it at the time and thought, I hadn't even considered that. And I can see how that might happen, but I didn't think it would. I believed we weren't going to do that. But now, as the season's going on, and I'm hearing, it's like Groundhog Day, what I'm hearing from the coaches and the players and what I'm seeing on the ground, to me, it does feel like, maybe a rebuild isn't linear. Maybe there's like, a level of like dip and plateau that it's almost like, players in their own individual development have that, sort of second, third season slump a lot of the time. And I feel like maybe we're having that as like a whole team and maybe also a coaching group, because to me, nothing else about it makes any sense unless the players aren't on board with the game plan or things that from what they're saying internally and the actions they're taking in terms of signing Nicks and all of that they are actively saying that's not the case.
Yeah.
So that's the only way I can kind of make it make sense. That doesn't mean it's okay, and I don't know what the answer to that is, but that's the only way I can understand how it seems like we've just slid so far backwards. And yeah, I think the sooner that the Crows openly start admitting that, I think the better. I don't know if they've admitted it to themselves yet, let alone us. And I think the narrative from Nixie is starting to change slightly. Like he is now it's not just, we've got all these games to go and it's just, it's all going to come together. It's starting to shift. And I think there's a balance between what Nix has had to do up till now, which is be really positive about this really inexperienced young team and want to build up their confidence. But there's a point at which I think that stops being helpful, and I think there's a level of like maturity that everyone needs to bring to the fact that it's not going in the direction we need it to. So I think we're at a tipping point where that's going to need to start happening.
Oh, it's absolutely a tipping point. Like if if they can't either acknowledge it or try some different things this year, it's going to be the coaching panel that's going to go first, I think, before anything.
I don't think it's not even the performances as such that is bothering me this year. I don't actually care that we're losing, to be honest, because I don't think none of us predicted us to win the premiership this year. It's not like we're sitting here going, oh, God damn it, now we're not going to finish top 4. It's sort of like, oh, we just thought we'd be better. So there's history shows that teams, like what you said, that it's not linear, that you quite often will get a team perform above expectation, then that next year have a huge slump. You look at Collingwood, was it 2 or 3 years ago, finished second bottom. Second year after that, or the year after that, they finished 4th. The year after that, they win the premiership. And I think Freo are a team that we can really look at as well. I stupidly selected them to feature in the grand final last year after their year before.
Yeah.
They had a real slump last year and finished they bottom 4. They were terrible. And now look at them this year. They're flying again. So I don't think it's not the worry that we're losing. Like in my mind, I don't care that we're losing games. I think it's more about how we're going about it as well.
Yeah.
And the lack of sort of trying things, experimenting. If we're not aiming to win the premiership this year, then why are we going in with the teams that we're going in with, and why are we playing the boring football? Because it's, I don't know, like if we were really building like this ultra, awesome defense, I could kind of understand it, but it doesn't look like that. It's not like we're trying to build some sweet defense here that's going to really help us next year. Maybe it will. Maybe that's what we're trying to do, but I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, the whole point of what I was saying was I think we're playing some really boring football, and I think we're picking some really boring teams.
Yeah.
And I just worry that this year's going to go to waste if we continue to do that.
We just seem to be spending the bulk of a game defending our own mistakes. Like that's the problem. Like you're defending, but not the attack's not working for whatever reason. And we're getting 2 weeks in a row. And I didn't really look at it too much in the Gold Coast game, but 2 weeks in a row at least, we've just been smashed by intercept defenders as well. Like they just seem to be able to plug the holes and no one's on them and all this kind of thing. Freo absolutely smashed us again, like Stuart did the week before. And I just made it, I guess, a note on the mids, which has been highly talked about on the forums and whatnot. But, we've got to only play one of Crouch and Laird through the middle at any given time. Like they're basically the same player, as we all know. But then we've got to have a mix of Saligo, Dawson, even Jones, Keys again, maybe, Rankin, Rochelle.
I think Keys is unnecessary.
The only thing I give him is he actually can get the ball, but
my fear is not necessarily on him. I think he's more than adequate midfielder. Disposal's a problem, and whether Keys is still part of the 22 when we are challenging for a premiership.
Well, he's in the leadership group now.
I think the leadership group it's
become a bit of a farce.
Yeah, well, it has, and like you hear Matty Nix. I think it was Matty Nix on in his post game. No, it was on. Was he on 360?
Yes.
And he was sort of talking about leadership, on ground leadership, and he brings up like Tex, Crouch, and Laird, and then you go, none of those three are in the leadership group. So how many fucking leaders have we got on the ground? It's like most of the team now.
Maybe they're confused about their roles at the moment.
Well, yeah, it's a bit strange, isn't it?
I don't think the leadership group really comes into it that much at all.
Not from that perspective.
Having said that, as Tom has just mentioned in the chat, the mistakes and the panicked football is coming from the senior players.
Yeah, it is.
So why are we playing?
Where's their footy IQ gone? Where is that gone? Because I feel like, as much as great a kick as Smith is, surely if he can see a lead coming straight on, 20 metres away, he's taken that kick instead of long bombing it to a contest where we're completely outnumbered and have no one in the forward line. Because again, we're playing way high up the ground and we can't get back into the forward line in time when we have possession.
And don't get me wrong, I love him. Pedler playing the position that he is at the moment is a complete liability.
Well, I've got a bad feeling he's definitely getting dropped this week,
Yeah,
or at least he's going to be
dragged.
the sub.
Which I don't love. He should stay in the team, and they should be putting him in the position that he's most likely to be playing in a year's time.
I completely agree.
It's just dumb playing him half forward still, and then going, well, you're not a good enough player, so you're going to go back. And I agree with you. He probably is going to get dropped, and he frustrates the hell out of me. But his talents aren't being utilised.
Yeah.
So, and maybe the most frustrating thing even about this coming week is that the only reason we're getting any changes is because Miller and Murphy are both injured.
You know it, don't you?
Yeah.
Issy said the problem is the underperforming senior players are still playing in prime positions, the midfield, delaying junior development, and that's the whole point of what I just said before.
Yeah.
It's frustrating that we're not blooding these. And look, maybe this week we come out. There's been a game of Sandford. We've seen who maybe the cream is in the Sandford side now against a good opposition. Well, South, however you rate South. And, we saw some amazing performances. I don't know if we're going to dip into that yet, but
I can guarantee we won't.
Yeah, I think too it's that lack of experience in that sort of mid-age range that we still are suffering from after we had, a bit of an exodus of players. And, it's like we either have to put in the oldies who are starting to, show their age, or we have to put in really inexperienced. And there's sort of not a lot. Miller is like one of few who fills that sort of middle age, middle level of experience kind of range. And now he's gone. So, I feel like we don't have that in between to kind of bridge a gap, and while the younger players are getting the opportunity to be developed. So, I feel like we're really suffering still from that, to be honest. Yeah.
One of those young players that had a ripping SANFL game was Billy Dowling. I don't see him getting a call up this week for sure, because as I said to Dan in the car, he's got to put those kinds of numbers up for a few weeks in a row to even get a look in the 22. And, whether or not he can do that, I'm not sure. But I would really love to see them just move, don't even fuck with Rankin in the midfield anymore. Let's can that experiment because we need some fire in the forward line clearly. And he seems to be a bit lost with his positioning at the moment. Let's run Rochelle through there, Pedler, Saligo.
Rochelle should be in the midfield.
And bring Dowling in as that kind of backup.
Rochelle played the best footy he played last year in the midfield.
So
I thought Saligo showed some dynamic in there as well.
Saligo was great. We said it last week or the week before. There's something special when Saligo's around the ball. And I think that's because the other guys that we normally have around the ball are so bloody slow. So when he goes in there and has a little bit of spark
and when guys like Nathan Buckley and Dermot Brereton are saying exactly that, that the Crows look like they've got spark when you see Saligo with the ball. Why are you not putting him in there for majority minutes? It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Are we that arrogant as a club?
Yeah.
Like
Wilmus has just said, need to reward SANFL form. Otherwise deflating, not being rewarded, or must be deflating, not being rewarded. And that's absolutely right. And that's something that we have struggled with big time over 10 years, I reckon, is not rewarding good SANFL form when they should. Sydney debuted a player on the weekend and put him in the midfield, and Sydney's an actual good team.
Yeah.
Why can't we do it?
I don't know.
I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah, it's
surely
just frustrating.
one that definitely comes in this week is Toby Nankervis.
He has to
not
come in.
Toby, Luke. Luke Nankervis.
You want Toby Murray?
Yeah, bring Richmond.
We can't bring
he's
Toby
a fuck.
Murray.
We don't want him.
Put him on the wing.
We'll probably get into selections a little bit later, but I reckon it's Parnell. I reckon they're going to bring
if they
Parnell
do
in.
that.
Well,
I'm
did you
not
watch the
going on
SANFL
Thursday.
game?
I'm not going on Thursday.
Did you watch the SANFL game?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Yeah. So Parnell was one of the only defenders who had some run off half back. Surely he's coming straight in for Miller.
Nankervis played a much better game.
I think Nank played a good game too, but I've just got a feeling.
Oscar Ryan played a better game than Parnell did.
I think Oscar Ryan looked really good, and I would say that he is in front of Daniel Curtin as well. I thought he was great.
Charlie Edwards played some midfield minutes and looked great. He absolutely nailed a kick from the centre circle out to sort of like a half forward position. It was fantastic to see. So there's some talent there.
Yeah.
We just probably have to wait 4 or 5 years to see them play centre half, forward flank. So it'll be great.
I hope they know that we're as frustrated as they probably are.
Caleb Mitchell. Yeah, thanks, Tom. That was who Sydney debuted and played him around the middle.
All right. Was anyone else got any points from that game before we get into some votes?
No.
I haven't even done my votes. I'm not giving votes. Refuse. Oh, shit.
Kate can give them a set.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I did think about them. I realised I might be asked.
Nice.
All right. Well, Sam's giving minus votes to everyone. Kate, what have you got?
Yeah, I mean, it was slim pickings. But in the end, I went with 3 votes to Keane. I think, he's, been a bit of a stalwart back there when he's been able to play. And, maybe even with a broken jaw. Efficient and lots, more intercept marks. And he's sort of across the board, I think he featured high in most of the stats. So, yeah, thank goodness he's there. I gave 2 to Crouch. Again, he's probably the more efficient of our midfielders at the moment. So he is in there winning it and, doing something with it most of the time. And I wasn't sure about Denard about one, but I gave it to Dawson maybe a little bit as a little bit of encouragement, because I think he's on the way up. He's, started shocking, as have most of us, but I feel like every game he's taken a bit of a step forward in his, in how he's going. And
41% efficiency
that
rate.
was the one thing about that I still,
that's so hard to read.
I know. Yeah, I know. That was the one that wasn't, that one thing that's still kind of lacking. If he'd been a bit more efficient, it would have been a pretty solid game from him. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Dan?
When watching the replay, I was like, everyone was talking about Keane, and I thought, he's going to be 3 votes, but I just didn't think he stood out too much. So I gave Michael Aney the 3 votes. I thought he some of his 1%ers, and I preface this by saying I really struggled to give any votes to anybody, because I don't think anyone really stood out.
No.
The backline did what they had to do because they were getting smashed by the whole game. So Michael Aney 3. I gave Keane the 2 because I still thought he was good. He took some good marks where we needed it, and was definitely, like you said, a stalwart in the back line. And I gave 1 vote to Rob. I thought he battled pretty hard.
You reckon Riley O'Brien could ever take a mark when we need him to take a mark?
Well, he took more marks than the week before, so I'd give him.
Yeah, it was more than 0.
Yeah.
He took some marks on the weekend, but my God, does he ever take one when we just need a clunk on the wing? Like, it just never happens.
They seem few and far between.
Oh
at the moment.
my God. Yeah, so bad.
All right.
I did do votes. I've got some.
Okay. Yeah, go on. Give us some.
3 to Keane, 2 to Max, and 1 to Laird.
Okay. Did you just copy Ben's? No, I'm kidding.
No, I didn't. Oh, is that what he has?
No.
Oh.
Ben's got 3 for Keane. 26 possessions, slightly padded due to kick-ins, but interesting that he is trusted to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Saligo, most dynamic looking fielder for 2 midfielder is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
For 2, 1 for Maxi, did some good things is what Ben's notes say. And I've got 3 for Keane, obvious, 2 for Matty Crouch, probably the standout midfielder. I gave 1 to Saligo because I agree he did some good things. Before we do the Tyson Edwards Quiet Achiever, I just want to do Pete's Pizzas.
Oh, pizzas.
So let's hear Pete's Pizzas for the week.
We still haven't got a jingle for him yet.
Well,
that's
maybe he's
slack,
made his
man.
own up.
All right, I'll make a pizza, 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 pizza. There we go.
I think you can do better
That
than
was
that.
absolutely great.
That was fucking awesome. Come on.
Oh,
You
it's
guys
not
should
working.
be paying for this shit.
Where's the Bluetooth? Not connected. Why does it keep doing that?
If one of you harmonised, it would have been infinitely better.
You did not want me to harmonise.
I can only harmonise.
Hi everyone,
murmurs.
it's Pete's Pizzas.
Pizzas.
Thanks again to the Here We Grow crew for giving us a platform to commiserate together. I'm out on the road today. I'm going to give you 3 takeaways to chew on after our awful game versus Fremantle. First up, it's that garlic bread that you ordered, but when it turns up, it's actually just garlic butter smeared onto a pizza base, and that's what the selection committee have been serving up to us so far this year.
That is
We
my
thought we were going to
pet
get kids in the
peeve,
mid,
Pete.
but actually we just ended up with Crouch and Laird doing circle work, which gets us nowhere. The pair had 53 possessions of less than 500 metres game between them. Crouch's kick lacks penetration so much that the opposition just stand off him and let him kick the ball. It's really disappointing and frustrating that Rochelle and Pedler had 0 centre bounce attendances. Next up, pescatore pizza. Some might call it the frutti di mare or marinara, which is a classic seafood pizza. But instead of putting prawns on it, our beloved Crows decided to go with a baby octopus. This refers to our recruitment decision to ignore Caleb Sarong and Hayden Young in the 2019 draft and instead choose Fisher Mackesy. Matthew Nix only had just arrived at the club and looked as stunned as Fisher did that night. Silvers and Kelly weren't even appointed yet, so I'd like to think the decision might have been different. But here we are, 5 years on, enough said about that. Lastly, it's the stinky Gorgonzola and Blue Cheese pizza, which could apply to the entire team. But stinking it up the most was unfortunately Luke Pedler and Taylor Walker. Tex should not have played. His back is still not right, which was another poor decision from the selection committee. And sadly, Matthew Nix has played Pedler out of position so much, he's destroyed Luke's confidence, and now the poor kid will probably be dropped. On to gather round, where hopefully we kick more than 4 goals, and the pizzas will be tastier. Thanks, everyone.
Oh, well done.
Thanks,
Pete. That was fantastic.
Pizza. I'm still going.
Alright, it's time for the Tyson
Can't
Edwards
really
Quiet
argue
Achiever.
much with that.
No,
I just
it
wanted
was
to say
fantastic.
before the Tyson Edwards, I just saw that Vardy Magic asked about Max playing on Michael Walters during the game. I had a bit of a look because I heard that Max got a bit of a toweling potentially, and a couple of the main sort of plays that Michael Walters did during the first quarter, at least, it was other players that were on him, like Borlase and I think Brodie Smith even at one stage. So I don't think Max was all to blame for that particular run. But let's go.
Hi, I'm Tyson Edwards.
You're such a quiet achiever.
All right, who you got then, Sam?
Soligo.
All right, Dan, who you got?
Soligo.
Kate, who you got?
×3.
Hey! You should have said Soligo.
Ben has Hinge for Quiet Achiever. He said solid game, second highest for meters gained. And I actually gave the Tyson Edwards Quiet Achiever to Mr. 250 himself, Brodie Smith.
Oh, wow.
Look, I mean, partly because I feel bad for roasting him so hard the last couple of weeks, but I mean, you did deserve it, Brodie, but you didn't play that badly for your 250th, so I'll give it to you.
That is against
Sam looks
what this podcast
All
is
you
about.
stand for.
Exactly. All we stand for. Exactly.
Look, he was very quiet and achieved a few things. Plus, it was his 250th.
Yes.
So what's that where they give it to you? Give you like the rising star on basis of like your
Body of work.
body of work. That's the one. It's a body of work. Quiet achiever.
Tom said, keep in mind the standard for Smith isn't exactly high. So, yeah, that's fair.
And no, Chris, I haven't said.
We told them we
Chris,
weren't
I haven't
playing that.
said live and interactive yet, but there's still time.
Yeah, there is still time. Oh, what
Oh, should we take some calls? I mean, I don't think we should.
No.
I mean, no, we can.
If anyone
If you want to call and you know the number, give us a ring.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, Sam's going to do his segment.
If you want to know what's in the spring, get into Rowan Jarman.
I didn't really had one good thing, and that was Port Adelaide getting torched by the umps, which was very enjoyable to watch on, was it Saturday evening? Oh,
Jeez, that did not take long.
Switchboards are lighting up.
Hello?
Live and interactive.
Live and interactive.
Is that you, Kate?
Oh, the audio is doing that thing where it
Oh,
doesn't
no.
connect
Not
again.
me.
Sorry. Live and interactive. This
See ya,
is Timmy
buddy.
Crow. Who's here?
Is this the Crows? The Crows show?
Oh,
Is
no,
this Mavis?
Mavis is back.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, Mavis here. And look. I just wanted to say before we hang Rory Nicks out to dry, we need to just calm down. It's only 3 games in, and one more thing. Look, Brad Crouch is doing his best.
Is that a knock on me?
And we just look. Rory Laird has got all Australian jackets, and look, they can work it out. They were doing it last year, and I just think that Soligo and Rochelle can just wait their time, and we need to be patient.
Do you have time in life to be patient, Mavis, or should the Crows get a wriggle on?
Straight for the jugular.
Look, I think that the boys are doing their best. Nix is doing their best. Oh, excuse me, I've got another call. See ya. Right.
Oh, see you, Mavis.
Can't.
Mavis.
Hello.
No call waiting on the landline.
Who's that? Is that a sensible crow on the line?
It is. How are you guys?
Oh, it's calling again, second week in a row.
Welcome
oh
back.
my gosh.
Yeah, I thought
Privilege.
so. This is just absolute garbage.
You clearly have a bit to say then. Not enough to do your
What
own
is
pod,
it? What?
but
Please impart some
Yeah, I
wisdom on
know.
us.
Yeah. Well, I've actually, to be honest, if anyone's out there that listens to me, I am thinking about doing a podcast next week if it's that bad.
I feel like
It
you need
depends.
to.
Are you here to plug
Well,
your
it
own
depends
podcast?
on- this is the thing.
Because that's okay.
And you made some great points. It's not about the result at the moment. It's about how we play, because how you play, the results happen naturally. Last
That's it.
year it didn't happen. We missed out on a few games here and there, whatever. It doesn't matter. The season's gone. We can't look back. We have to look forward and think, what can we do to change it? And we've done everything wrong at the moment. We're not playing with any flair and anything like we did last year. We're nervous.
Yeah.
We could be. Last year we were the hunters, and now we're the hunted.
So what do you think?
It's simple.
How do you think that comes about, Nuz? Like we were talking about it earlier. Like we said, you know, maybe it's a slight change in the game plan that they're not confident with. Maybe, you know, he's lost the players slightly, or, you know, is it the expectation? Can you really narrow that down, do you think?
It's probably all of the above, but we do underestimate how much of a mental game footy can be. And there's examples over decades and decades of mentally weak teams, or, you know, making mistakes on the big day or the big dance, and it's just happening every week. But here's the thing about what you're mentioning about leadership group. We really are missing that 2016 turning out to be 2015 draft through 2019 completely gutted the club. So the worst thing is there's no accountability for that. Hamish Ogilvie and Reid are still there. You know, stronger boards may have said no. Then they shouldn't be there. So we're letting mediocrity set in again. And this is the issue about Crouch and Laird. They do the job. They get 30 touches, but it's the way in which you do it. And I mentioned this last week, and we can all see it. If we can see it, why can't the coaches? And it comes down to the bit of the tail wagging the dog, I think. It's the players, you know, the super happy friends group. They seem to think we're untouchable. You hear Rory Laird speak on radio, and I feel a bit uncomfortable saying you've got to drag me out of the midfield. Now, how about, Rory, how about you take one for the team and you bloody play where you need to play?
Yeah,
to help
as I
the
said
team
last
move
week,
forward.
Nuz, you don't get to decide, mate. It's not up to you.
No.
Well, they are deciding, and that is the problem. And so where Nick needs to actually show his leadership, he needs to, you know, evolve into his next step as well. He needs to say, you know what, no, enough's enough. He's got a year and a half now to prove himself and think, because no one's going to call for his head if we're 0-10 and it's just the kids in the mid, like just kids. No one's going to call for his head.
Yes.
Because David King on Fox Footy is going to say, yeah, look at the stats, here's the stats. I don't know why we can't see that. I don't know what they listen to these podcasts, by the way. There's guys, I don't think they do it every week, but there are people who, you know, listen to their fans' podcast.
They're not going to listen this week.
I'd like to retract everything I've ever said.
To basically, like, to monitor us, to check on how we're going and making sure that we're not slandering too much, you know. Keep your friends close, enemies closer kind of thing.
Of course.
So I just don't know what really is going on. Like, if anyone in Crows-Land is listening, we don't care if we're 1-9, 2-8, if Rochelle, Rankin, Saligo and Pedler have the keys. Exactly. Hand over the bloody keys. Enough is enough. And I'll ask anyone out there listening right now, if Rory, Laird, Crouch, well, I'm going to say Tex as well, because the way he's injured, and Smith, but mainly those three minus Tex, if none of them played again ever and they all retired tomorrow, would we even notice it on game day?
Barely.
Good question.
And it's a horribly harsh question, but Tex is one of the all-time greats.
Yeah.
Rory Laird, Matt Crouch and Brodie Smith aren't. We're relying on them to carry this team forward, but they're not the right sort of people. It reminds me of Carlton about 20 years ago when they were really shit and they had a few people straggling on, like Spinny Lappin, and there was a defender as well, and they were just the wrong type of leaders to bring them forward, and they just needed to gut it out and start again. And that's when they got in people like Judd to carry them, and they did well for a couple of years, but they realised, shit, this isn't working. The coach ended up getting sacked because he was relying on these shitter older players for the sake of it. They're not the right players.
Yeah, I mean, it brings to mind 1997 when, you know, first thing Bloody did was get rid of a few of the old
plodders.
golds.
Yeah.
And, you know, where did that get us? Worked well.
Yep, pretty good.
Yeah.
We're I don't know whether it's it seemed a bit precious in once you hit over 100 games at the Crows. It's almost like the Australian Test team. It's harder to get out than get in.
Izzy said we need the blight broom.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the one.
The blight broom, I love
that.
it. I love it.
But to your
Look,
point,
I'm going to let other callers call in, okay?
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think-
the lines are running hot tonight, Nuz, that's for sure.
Yeah, you had Mavis before me. Who's going to be next?
Oh, who knows? Well, with Kate here, probably no one, but that's okay. We'll cope. Sam can get
And
his.
just last thing about Billy Dowling, I was at that game in the SNFL. Billy
Yeah.
Dowling had one of the most complete midfielder games I have ever seen anybody play in the midfield. It was
Wow.
like his defensive running was phenomenal because I basically was just watching him, Curtin, Welsh, and Edwards. I didn't care about the result. I was just watching those 4 players and whoever else got it.
Yep.
And Oscar Ryan, that's the other one.
Yep.
Oscar Ryan, phenomenal game.
Yeah, I
But
thought
Billy
he looked
Dowling, yeah, he was. But Billy Dowling, the stuff that he did when he didn't have the ball was AFL class. I just don't want to see him wasted at the forward flank.
What are the chances we play him, Nuz, and what are the chances we play him in the right position?
On the right position, like no chance at all. I heard Bickley this morning on SEN saying that, he still needs a bit of time, to evolve himself in the midfield. Did you watch the game, Bix?
Yeah.
yeah,
Did you watch him play? Like, it wasn't just 34 touches and no effect. It was 34 touches and probably 600 metres gained,
yeah.
as well as tackling pressure. I mean, it was the complete game. It really was.
I still think they're going to want to get him. They're going to want him to have those kind of numbers in those kind of games a few weeks in a row
but
before they
that's
even
shit.
have a look at.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
No.
it's not. I
Yeah.
completely agree.
Yeah.
But that's
We
just
always
how
do
we
this.
roll.
We always
Mentality.
let people. We always let people run themselves out of form again.
Yeah.
We don't have selection, and this is the problem. We don't have selection integrity, and we haven't for years.
Yeah.
And it's infuriating because when you've got a player who's in form, put him in the A's.
Yeah.
They're going to have the confidence and then to hail up. It's just, it happens in every grade of the footy. It happens in every other team except for us. I don't know what's wrong. Something needs to change. And Nix, if you're listening, we don't care if we're 2-8 if you play the kids, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Enough's enough.
We're
done.
pleading with you, Daddy.
Yes.
Kids in the
Please.
mid.
See you later, guys. We'll
Thanks,
speak to you
Naz.
soon.
Cheers,
Thanks,
Nuz.
Nuz.
Gotcha.
I was going to say to Nuz's point, yeah, just I do agree to an extent. Like, I don't think majority of the fans that we speak to, interact with online, etc., probably wouldn't, would actually like us to roll the dice and sort of sweep the club out, get rid of some of those plotters. I think, for argument's sake, you could keep Crouch as the one sort of plotter midfielder who can dish the ball out. You put Laird 100% at half back to replace Millerer, for example,
Yes.
and then you run all those other players we mentioned earlier through the mid.
Yeah.
That straight away that gives us a different dynamic, and you can still keep Crouch and you can keep Laird, so you're not axing these players, but you can't. Again, Crouch doesn't go anywhere but the mid, so it's either he's in the mid or he's off the field. It's like it gives you less versatility having him in the team.
Look,
Yeah, I agree.
if we pull something like that this week, I mean, it'll be an actual miracle, and I'll be buying a Powerball ticket and putting on the world's largest multi.
What seems most likely?
Just multi.
What seems most likely, like Ari Dowling, is that we bring him in, we play him either half forward or as the sub.
I reckon.
Yeah.
That's what I reckon. Sam.
Yes.
Back to your segment.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'd forgotten about it.
Because
Oh yeah,
it was
We only got
happening.
the good.
It was
We only just
happening.
and then
started.
the phone rang.
Yeah,
one
it
good.
did. I just said Port getting torched by the umps, which was really funny. They had so many chances to win that game and probably should have won that game in the end, and they didn't. But that
Which is nice.
it's just kind of scary for us this week because Port's a better
Yeah.
team than we are, and they've been beaten by Melbourne. So
Yeah, Melbourne will be
At home.
Yeah, on the deck, on the Adelaide Oval deck too. So they'll be pretty fired up. I
yeah,
reckon.
that's right. Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you guys know, but Max Gawn and Christian Petrarca are currently doing a meet and greet in the city. So maybe we can go down there after. I was thinking we could get Clayton Oliver on the $3 Cranker Schooners tomorrow night, and maybe we'll have a chance.
I thought you were going to say, one of us could stand behind one and push, just a little.
something tells
a little
me I'll
weak out.
Just give Gawn a really, really tight hug and maybe break his ribs.
something tells me Clary can back it up after a night out.
Yeah, maybe.
Quite possibly.
Footwear sacrificed at half price and equipment slashed to half price. Rowan Jarman's huge half price sale. Don't miss it.
The amount of times that the commentary team referred to, mentioned Travis Boat playing his 351st game on the commentary on the weekend.
They?
It was just so often. And I think it was Luke Darcy, who's just an absolute, like, the lowest of the lows when it comes to commentary. He's just such a frustrating person. Umpire interpretation of 15 metres.
What the heck?
I have no idea how they work this out. Why? It's all situation based. It's really frustrating. So basically, if there's a player that's like about to get tackled and they did a mark and it's sort of, more than 7 metres, it's fine. Whereas I don't understand it. It's so strange.
There was so many times on Friday night I was like, that's not 15. That's not 15.
Yeah. It seemed to happen a lot on the weekend.
And what's going on with the boundary umpires? Are they blind? What's happening there?
There was some bad ones. I'd love to see an actual on the line. Obviously, you obviously understand photography as well. That angles can play a huge role in how things look on the screen. So I'm sure they're a lot closer than they look.
Absolutely.
But
there was one real blatant one where the camera was actually right at the correct angle and the boundary umpire was directly in front of it.
That was the Port game, wasn't it?
No, it was the Crows game.
The Port game was a bad one.
What the hell? Like, that is so clearly out of bounds and the umpire is right there. In fact, there were 2 umpires, one on each side, and neither of them picked it up. It was baffling.
Yeah. And while we're at it, Tom also brought up a good point. Are goal umpires actually going to call a goal or a behind these days, or do they just...
Yeah, I know.
They're just sort of pieces.
There are a couple of shockers again in the Crows.
Yes.
Oh my God, they just do everything.
I was going to raise that as a bad because the other thing about that, I think, and I haven't seen how much it's happening in other games, but you do think the umpire's really gun shy on us now, and it ruins the momentum. Like, Scholl kicked a amazing goal, and then it's 3 minutes of bumming around and all the excitement that is gone. And I'm not saying that's going to win us the game, but I think if that keeps happening, it's at a disadvantage to us.
That was also one of those ones, that Scholl one, where it was so clearly over the line that they came back with the decision in like 2 seconds.
Yes, it's like I understand if it's sort of line ball, but that was so obviously,
and the guy was right there.
Yeah, exactly. So that's becoming very frustrating very quick.
Just the other quick one, Sam, on umpiring as well. Holding the ball has gone to another level of shit this year. It's so bad, the amount of just like dropping the ball and just not calling it.
Yeah. And the worst thing is Jack Revolt commentating Richmond games.
God.
Yeah, and Channel that's Foxtel, but Channel 7 seemed to think it's really cute putting Joel Selwood on Geelong games and Luke Hodge on Hawthorn games, and I don't think it's good at all.
No.
Unless you're going for the sort of... And they try not to be biased. Like, I will give them some credit. But Jack Revolt was getting so excited about how well Richmond were playing against Sydney on the weekend.
What's the story with them putting Rashudo on Port games?
Well, yeah, but Rashudo, he really drags us down, I reckon.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
No, but that's because he's probably trying to overcompensate.
He is. Yeah, he is. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, no, that's all I got. That's it, actually. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on, shall we?
Are we going to call out Nuff? I just sent you his number.
Oh,
Yeah, probably not yet, but
Not
we
yet?
should probably do it soon, actually. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
I
quite
told
late.
him we'd call him at 7:30. So
Let's do You're So Kane.
Oh, You're So Kane?
You're So Kane. That's just gone on the fly. And then Vic Bait after that.
All right.
You're so Kane. I bet you think this part is about you. You're so Kane, so Kane. You probably think this part is about you, don't you, don't you?
Ah, yes, our favourite media person, Kane Corns.
Is he getting punched up tonight? Is that happening tonight?
Oh, is that?
The fight night? Is
That's
that
Oh, is
tonight?
that tonight?
I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, could be.
Yeah, it's a bit farcical, isn't it? But
Yeah.
Kane, this is a really hard time for us as Crows fans because we're just writing Kane's stories for him. We're giving him all these material, and he's not often wrong at the moment, which is quite sad. We really need to shut him up at some point and not be just sitting there going, yeah, Kane's actually right. He's got a good point.
Yeah.
Because I feel disgusting.
Yes, exactly. It's wrong.
It's not good. All right, Vic Bait.
I don't know where this
We're just doing this for the segments and for the songs.
We like the songs.
Thank you, mother, for the rabbits.
And additionally to Kane, most of the media have been right about the Crows lately, which also sucks.
Usually we're complaining about how wrong they've got it, but unfortunately they have it so right, it's unfair. And for some reason, we are ignoring it.
Yeah, they're not having to stretch, right? Usually they have
The footage is damning.
Yes, exactly.
Like calling our midfield vanilla and then Rob calling it Neapolitan. Like, come on, guys.
Well, yeah.
It's clearly not Neapolitan.
I mean, he said that we could be chocolate or strawberry or whatever, and to me, all he said was we are Neapolitan, which is shit, vanilla, and pink-faced, which we are all three of those things right now.
Well, rainbow paddle pops are actually vanilla flavoured, so I think,
I thought they were caramel.
Oh, maybe I thought it was vanilla.
Well, we'll put
maybe
that
it is caramel.
We're going to have to have a paddle
Answer us
pop
on the
based
chat.
off
Fact check.
next
Fake
time you're in,
news.
Kate. Look, I just think it's actually depressing that none of this is getting through to the Adelaide Football Club. David King, he copped some shit in the media from Tex and that for his vanilla midfield remarks. And, to his credit, he took that on the chin and then he just pointed out how shit we were again and he was correct. So
we haven't gone about proving him wrong. And what the hell does we could be strawberry or chocolate even mean? It doesn't mean anything.
Again, could we just be good?
Yeah. I think did Rob miss the point of what they meant by vanilla?
Yeah, look, I don't know. Do we
Meant
know what
boring,
Rob's talking
bland
about half
shit.
the time?
Yep.
Oh, look, the problem isn't footy media right now. It is the Adelaide Crows. Let's be real.
Yeah. Thank you, Hendo, for correcting. It's definitely caramel.
Vardy Magic wants to know, Kate, do you know anything about gardening?
Oh, Vardy. Yeah, look, no. I'm learning. Let's put it that way. I can, this is my level of gardening. So it got mentioned on the pod last year, but I went for a bit of a road trip and there was no one at my house to water my garden. So I set up a watering system and automated it. And up until that point, I've lived in my house for 10 years and I kept kind of planting things and they kept struggling along. And anyway, now that it's actually getting watered consistently, everything's great.
That's amazing.
I've learned that the key to gardening is watering. That's where I'm at.
That's the tip that I need.
I'm on the journey to that at the moment, so I might need to pick your brain for some actual tips that Ben hasn't given me yet.
I can help you with setting up a watering system.
I stopped paying attention for 2 minutes.
Vardy asked if I know anything about gardening.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah,
We've launched into Kate's gardening tips, which is apply water.
Excellent. Oh, good. Yeah.
Right,
That's
we're
nice.
going to call
That's
out
good.
enough?
Yeah, let's
You're
call
putting
out
things
enough.
in layman's terms for me, unlike Ben.
Yeah.
Oh, we're playing it fine here. Don't do that.
He's picked up.
Jared, are you there?
Hello, how you going?
Well, Jared, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
All right, we're gonna get straight into it. We already sort of played. We should have played the song now. That would have made a lot more sense. And then
I thought it was more fun to call him while the song was getting played.
Yeah, it was, and then Dan ended it prematurely.
But we must introduce Jared.
Yes, I do have a short little thing.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, tonight we have a Riverland local, silo painting extraordinaire, president of the SA Demons supporters group. He has the town where he lives is his last name, so he might be the mayor. Welcome, Jared Loxton.
Oh, really?
Mayor of
Wow.
Loxton.
Welcome, Jared. I've been to Loxton. Love it down there.
You do live in Loxton, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yeah,
excellent. I thought that was, I get those towns mixed up sometimes. So
our mail goes everywhere.
yeah,
Isn't Tony Modra from there? Somewhere?
is it? No, he's a Wakery, isn't he?
Wakery.
Is he
no, that's
Wakery? Oh,
Prosciutto.
that's
Prosciutto.
Where's
Sure, yeah.
yeah? Where's Modra from?
Modra's from Loxton.
Yeah, there you
Okay,
go. Shut up, Sam.
Yeah,
Sorry. Sorry.
No, don't you apologise, Jared. It's Sam.
Yeah, we got the Demons supporter telling us where all their players are from. So, Jared, we don't have any proper questions planned here, but I've been imagining. Did you went to the game on against Port on the weekend? I'm guessing.
Yes, we sure did, and we survived. We drove home back that night, so
right.
I had work the next day. So it was a late night and didn't get home till 3 in the morning. But it was well worth it. It was we got out of there alive. Just
It would have sucked
But
to
anyway.
drive all that way and lose to Port Adelaide.
Yeah, but up the D's, they got it done, and we're supporting you for at least 3 days.
Yeah.
Well, I was and Sam was amongst those texts. I received quite a few texts saying thanks.
You say you got like 12 of them.
I got about a dozen texts, and I was like, "What the?" What? And then, but it's all fine.
Yeah, so good. So, Jared, 2024 for the Demons. Obviously, you had a little bit of off-season, controversy, I guess, with Clary, and so things maybe didn't look great. You had a bit of Simon Goodwin always likes to pop into the rumour mill every now and again. So, what coming into this season, what were you expecting? Like, what?
Well, it was a case for a while that every time that news made the media, it was Melbourne with something. But I guess. I guess after the last couple of years of bowing out in the finals, you go, oh my God, it's another years of all the players that we've got, and then Clary on top of that. We thought he was in coming to SA for a while there, wasn't he? But yeah, I tell you what, we've got 4 children, and they're all in their 20s, and they and a bit younger, and. They were all sort of, this year's a bonus because, so that's how they... We'll see what happens. And unfortunately, the media is the media, and it's good and bad, and, you roll with it until... We're waiting for, years ago, you could rely on a Dane Swan or someone like that to take over the news story, but no one did anything. Well, no, they didn't find out about anything, maybe.
Brisbane are given a bit of a run for the money at the moment, I think, of the media, so they've taken a bit of the shine off. And Melbourne's done the talking on the field with Clary's started off pretty well, and the team's won some games, so definitely on the up.
Yeah, no, we were over there for the Australian Open tennis, and then we arranged, like, they were training at Gosh's paddock next door, so we went over there, and it was good to watch them all, and that was when Clary is still out, but it was I don't know, I guess it all ticks on in the background, doesn't it? Like, really, like it's what the what the story is, and then narrative behind it, but we've still got a pretty good list when you break it all down as well. So
definitely.
It's not like and the younger ones coming through, even like Blake Howes, and Kate Chandler's been doing all right. He sort of had a couple quiet games, or the first game was, but yeah, he had some solid games last year. So for the younger, another SA boy there, Kate Chandler. But yeah, so expectations are not high. It's weird. But you remember, 30 years of getting flogged and walking back from Footy Park and getting stuff thrown at you.
That wouldn't have happened over here, would it, Jared? Surely not.
No,
that wouldn't have happened.
Not until Port came in the competition.
I was just going to say, definitely something we're very envious of that you just mentioned, that you're actually playing some of the young kids in the team, in a team that's performing quite well as well, which is great to see. And you've got sort of unsung heroes like Alex Neil-Bullen, who had a massive game against Port. Obviously loves coming home and playing on Adelaide Oval. So, those kinds of players we don't seem to have bobbing up for us at the moment in the Crows. We're obviously in a bit of struggle town.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's interesting. So you always take a bit of a snapshot of what our we're going to the kids of our sport. We're all through and through Melbourne, all the whole family. But in the last 2 or 3 years, we've all agreed that Adelaide is an exciting side to watch. Like, we actually came down and watched a couple of neutral. It's always good watching neutral games. It's so much more relaxed. Anyway, but it was from an outside, so then that's where it's weird. And I think I've said to Sam before, it's like they're exciting to have a go, but then I guess it's probably you can only do that for so long, can't you? I guess until you sort of become stable, maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We've been really critical of our midfield and probably their disposal efficiency, the way that we approach going forward from the midfield. And something that's been always said about your midfield when, Petraka and Oliver, certainly having a look at their disposal efficiency stats over the years, have never been all that amazing. Have you gone through, certainly in those early years, gone through times where you just thought these aren't the right guys, and how does that kind of work for you, do you think? Because it seems like you guys play like we do, but it works.
Yeah, but the thing is, it takes it sort of click. So you think about it, when Alex Neil-Bullen rocked up to Melbourne, he was on the back end of I think Neil was still there, so he was a bit of a basket case, everything. Imagine if you're 18 and you get drafted to Melbourne when Neil was there, and all like that. I mean, I know all clubs have got go through that, but I don't know. I guess we've just we've clicked. We always think our forward entry last year, our forward entry was like terrible. Like we had so many entries, and our forward line was, we finally got Petty, and then at the end of the year, Joel Smith came along, and then
the infamous Joel Smith.
Yeah, so we all think, because Joel Smith is a bit like Petty now, like the ultimate swingman. Like he was, pinch hitting up forward, and he had a couple of good finals games, when a few weren't, sort of thing. So and then you lose that, but then I think that shows with Petty coming back. He's come back, and that's another one who was going to play for the Crows, wasn't he?
Yeah. Was he coming back? He's coming back this year, isn't he, in trade period?
He's contracted next year, so something.
We've had different, mate.
You threw that out there, and I took it, didn't I?
All right.
But so I guess to answer your question, like it's sort of you link up, but it all like back when Roos was first there, our forward entry was terrible, but he claimed, we've got to fix up our defence first, which we did, and we were like, here's one back at you with Lever, but we've got Lever and May, and but then even with May going down a lot. So before the game on Saturday, we were all going, we had a pre-game function, and we were all talking, Charlie, Dixon's he's gonna slaughter us. So it's interesting where we were with a couple of neutral friends, and of the kids, and they go, no, Dixon, he doesn't, he won't do well against the better sides, right? So, but as a, we're thinking, he's going to monster us. And then a couple of times, like, Tommy Mack, Tommy Mack and Ben Brown were like a lot of people had them on the D list, and then they've all of a sudden they're there. So I don't know. I guess it's all depth, isn't it? Like that, if you can afford to keep those guys on the list.
So who is it at the Crows this week that you reckon are going to monster you? Like, you thought Charlie Dixon would? No one?
Yeah.
He's not scared at all this week.
No, that's right.
Before that, Silsthorpe was going to be the one, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Had the pre-season, which unfortunately got injured. But, I don't know. Like, we were really worried about Dixon, we were just, last week. But I don't know. I guess. So Ben Keys, so this is the thing, Ben Keys, he gets lots of it, doesn't he? But then it's whether this, it hurts as much, but I haven't answered the question, so I don't know.
That's because I was fishing for a no answer.
Yeah. Or Shane McAdam.
We know it.
Weird but isn't it weird, like, we look at other... supporters look at other clubs and go, geez, it'd be all right for us, but then it's just, I guess, the grass is always greener sometimes, but I don't know.
Jared Lauren on the podcast here was the biggest Shane McAdam fan in Adelaide.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got any info on whether he's even close to getting a game?
He's nowhere near it. Oh, no.
Yeah, no, he's not. Well, he was doing really well, and then the actual training that we went, he went down injured. So
yeah, right.
I think that's still good list. But it was weird. They flew him and that Colthorpe, the young fella we drafted, and they flew them over. But I think that, I don't know. I think it might have been. I don't know. He's still 2 or 3 weeks.
Are you saying he's in Adelaide? You've just piqued Lauren's interest.
He's probably visiting the GF, mate. I don't think he's not doing anything football related.
Yeah, right.
Maybe I can go meet him at the Melbourne Demons meet and greet at Footy Festival and be like, finally we're together, Shane.
one of our lads is down for trade school, so he went on and he stayed down from the Saturday game, and he went to the training at Westies on Richmond on Monday. Yeah, and he said it was McAdam and that were there. So, but yes.
All right, looking that up.
Well, I clued you into this one earlier on today, Jared, but we're just going to play a quick stinger for it. All right.
Yep. The kick to Dennis. So we're right behind him, and the Carlton fans are right behind him. Once, twice, 3 times.
Oh, look at that.
Yes! He's the Master Blaster.
He's the Master Blaster. For any new listeners, the Dennis Armfield is awarded to the player that we think is going to, probably that more like average to okay player, maybe the maligned club player from another club that's going to absolutely torch us this weekend. So, Jared, we had a bit of a discussion about this, so I think I know who you're going to go for, but you give your reasons.
Yeah, well, okay, this player's, and we've loved this player for a long time, but within some, like as all clubs, within some supporter circles, he has, you're right, he's been a bit maligned, but like it was Neil Bullen, Alex Neil Bullen, which we sponsor, SA Demons sponsor him, has done for a few years.
Nice.
Gary Smith started that, and then we've continued that, so which is great. But it's, I say this very loosely because within the club, he's our hardest trainer and everything. Probably from some, I'm going to call it probably some support. The minor small group would say that because he's been super, and he's been really good lately. And there's probably a coincidence with Brayshaw coming out of the middle a bit and losing that type of player. But the thing is, Neil Bullen Nibbler, his skills have improved. Because he's always had space and he's been fit and everything. It's probably his disposal turned him. That's what all supporters don't like.
Yeah,
turnover. Sure. So, and I think that's what you look at other people. Anyone who turns over the ball, So, but yeah, he's super guy, and but he's he's from a few supporter groups. Probably supporters haven't but he's stepped it up. Yeah. He's really stepped it up. So so hopefully he, well, not for you guys, but like they continues that. But and like I said before, he came in when Neil was still there, just there. So
he's been around a while.
Then he has gone better. He had a really good the 2018 we got smashed at I just had flashbacks and in Alptus Oval with Alptus Stadium against West Coast and and he had a really good season. He had a good he had a good finals last year. So maybe when I don't know. We love him.
I have a feeling if we continue our the Crows' last couple of weeks of intercept marking killing us, that old Jake the Snake might have a big game. Unfortunately,
yeah, he did a bit on the weekend, didn't he? I mean, they some poor entries in, but I mind you that we're watching, but one I was watching bottles getting thrown at us from the supporters. So
yeah, lovely.
But he's well. I didn't think he was going to play, and he's and along with May, I reckon May's going to front up.
Yeah, great. That's what we love copying injury returns, Jared. It always happens to us.
Just play them right into form.
Yeah.
I had to go. Oh, I'm talking to not Melbourne supporters.
Yeah, that's right.
But,
all right.
So I've got lots of Crows friends, but it'd be interesting to see how that goes. I think they'll pull him out because we got another Thursday night game, which is obviously still a week away, but the short break. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if he does play. But another one that we have missed it. Well, we've still run 3 on the road, but Jake Bowie, he's been really good. He's clean.
Yeah,
he was really. We it's weird. We really. Well, when I say we, me and the kids and my wife, we rate him. But so it's it was out. But I guess we've been a bit lucky with injuries as well. We haven't had anything crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
But
nice. All right. Well, before
Foggaty's the one. Foggaty's the one.
Foggaty's the one. Nah.
To answer your question before.
Oh yeah.
Well, so no, this is where it's a bit weird. Our kids were saying that, we should go after Fogarty. He's right. But then if you ask that for a Crow supporter, they might go, well, one that they,
Hands off, mate.
All right, Jared, before we let you go, we're just going to get, I don't think it's going to be any surprise who you're going to tip, but how much do you think they're going to win by?
I think it's going to be a lot closer. Honestly, it's still at Adelaide Oval and we're still, got to remember, we're still scarred from Footy Park for years and years. We never won. Although it's not down at West Lakes, but it's still, I don't know, I think it'll be a lot closer because, you've got to, Is when Sloan come back?
Don't say that on here.
No, genuine.
No, it's that.
He's
no,
still
that
away,
word,
I
that
think.
word's mud on here. Jared.
I reckon he's still minimum a month away. I reckon.
Yeah.
he's a
Oh,
while off.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
He's not coming
that
back.
wasn't even being smart.
No, that was Sam being a smart
Yeah,
ass.
that's me being smartass. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Jared. It was thanks for coming in last second when we had a
No worries. I would love to be there. I didn't realise how far Seaford was down.
Yeah, Jared's down at Seaford doing a mural. He
Oh,
paints, does like silos and stuff.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. What are you painting at the moment? What's happening in Seaford?
Oh, it's for the big shopping in the shopping centre there, and a big sea mural.
Okay.
But yeah.
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 Nice.
Oh,
All right.
amazing.
Awesome.
Well, hopefully we might be able to see you at some point on Thursday night, Jared. But thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very
we'll come
much for
give you
joining
a
us.
I've enjoyed
noogie
it.
on the head or something.
It's going to be closer than you guys think.
Yeah, all right.
Okay,
Thank you
mate,
for that.
thanks.
We appreciate that.
Yes.
All right.
Jared.
Thanks, Jared.
All right, see you guys.
See ya.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks very much to our Nuff Jared for coming
Yeah.
on last minute. All right, well, who have you got then? Let's give us your tips for the week.
Melbourne are going to beat us by 6 goals.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think we'll lose. I hope Jared's right. I guess, last season it was Gather Round where we really kind of turned things around and started gaining some confidence. But that was, I think, a little earlier perhaps as well in the season. I can't quite remember. But we had won at least one game, I think, by then. So maybe this will be our chance to kind of turn things around, but I don't feel very hopeful that will happen. So whatever Skerrick Ben had last week, that's long gone for me.
Yeah.
So I think we'll lose, probably by a few goals and play one not terrible quarter of football.
Do you know what is a sobering look though? Just what you just reminded me, because I went back and had a look through every game we played last year. Not watched them, just had a look at the scores. And we I think in our minds we thought we were a lot better than we were, especially in the end, especially leading into the end of the season. I think we won like 3 of like in the teens amount of games or something. So it's not like it wasn't an amazing end to the season. So, it sort of feels like we really performed well last year and that we should have been.
It was just
firing
comparatively to other years.
Yeah, maybe not the teens. I way overestimated that. But it was a high number.
We probably went into last season with lower expectations and saw more growth than we expected. And it's been like the complete opposite this year. So
sorry to interrupt, Dan.
I'm going Deegs by 28.
Okay, Lauren.
Oh, my microphone's up my nose. I don't know. Oh,
I think you do know. That's why you're not saying.
Just tell us, Lauren.
Yeah.
Crows by 3 points.
Oh, come on now.
Oh, I hope you're right.
Now-
I hope you're
Vardy
right,
Magic said, "What happens if we lose by 15 goals?"
Not much.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be a few emails flying around.
During the
A
game.
few interview requests.
Yes.
Now, I thought that I think we should get into social media because this has gone on for some time and I haven't eaten dinner. I thought we had a voice memo from our friend Aaron from Iowa, but I can't find it.
Oh.
So I don't know if I was joking or
I'm pretty sure he sent one.
he hasn't sent one.
Iowa, don't know if I've seen it either.
Or I've accidentally deleted it. I can't find it, is basically what I'm trying to say. Anyway,
Thanks
we
for
will
laughing
hear
at my
from
shit joke.
Anytime.
Bozza.
I
in
do
the
at home, you just
meantime.
never hear it.
Oh, actually, no. I'm going to play some of the voice messages we got. And also...
That's all the fuel I need, Kate.
Sorry in advance to everyone else.
I don't think he has.
Okay, all right. That's fine.
He did put some stuff in Discord, but maybe he struggled for time this week because he did
Yes.
say he might not be.
Yeah, that's true.
every
Okay,
week.
that's fine. I thought I was
He
going
hasn't
crazy.
committed to a whole
All right,
segment yet.
let's hear a couple of your voicemails.
Matt, I'm over this shit. It's gone backwards, and I don't know what the fix is. We've obviously not provided the team with the right coaching staff over the break, I called this late last year saying James Rahilly would be a big loss, and look how well Geelong are doing the first 2 weeks. There's no cohesion up forward. The transition from midfield to the forwards is terrible. Second to the ball. I just don't get what's gone wrong. You know, again, we've lost our midfield, our defensive general in Tom Bude. You know, bad about his neck. You know, all the best for him, but we lost him as well. You know, we've got a pretty inexperienced backline coach, Jack Homch now, so you know, I don't know what we're going to make of that the rest of the season. Honestly, this looks like the 2020 Crows all over again, and you know, judging by the next 3 games, we'll be 0-5. So yeah, I'm very much over this. So I don't know why they signed Nick for 2 more years. I would have, you know, said do it at the end of the season and reassess, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, see you people.
All valid points there. Thanks for calling.
He sounded sad. I didn't like that.
Yeah, here we go. I've got another
sounded
one.
the way we felt.
Yeah, we've got another short one.
What has happened to us? What happened?
Is this
What
you,
in
Kate?
the collective minds has gone on here? I feel like we look like a shell of our former selves, more like our former selves from 2020-ish.
Are you sure?
At least tonight there were glimpses of free-flowing play, but then the wheels would fall off in such spectacular fashion, and the basics just aren't there. It's so baffling. It's so disappointing.
I'll tell you what.
And I feel like Nick's probably turned to the runner on the bench after the game and said something like, what am I meant to do with that? And I wish I knew. But thank you for your service. Love your work. And God help you having to talk about that game in any amount of detail.
Oh, we have.
Thank you so much.
So
what did you not think that was Kate?
Vocal doppelganger
If you're
who's
in
far
the
more
chat,
eloquent
reveal
than me.
yourself. If
Yes.
that's Issy,
I'm gonna-
let us know, because I honestly thought it was Kate. and
Even
was
I
like,
could hear that.
Whoever that
Wow.
was.
Kate, you can just ring during the show.
Whoever that was,
my
and
alter ego.
Next time when I'm away in a couple of weeks, I think we'll get Kate in and that person. Just confuse everybody.
Everyone.
Love it.
I
Thanks
feel like
for-
I'm having another conversation with myself.
I know. Well, everything that was said, I was like, Kate would say this. Thank you for calling us.
Yeah, that was great. That was a good one.
We did
Yes.
also get a text message from our friend Jaden Wanganeen. All right, here we go. This is a Dirk almost.
It's
like
an
a
essay.
Dirk-esque.
Yeah,
It's an
right.
essay.
Jaden here, guys. Thoughts? Not fit enough to maintain the game plan that the coaches want to implement. Very evident that during the week they wanted to work the angles and the short 45s. What you're doing with the short 45s is you're making the other team work. You're playing kick chasey essentially. You're trying to pull them out of their structure and kick your way through a zone almost. Problem with that is you also have to be fit enough to implement that game plan and make those short leads on an angle. I think we lack the fitness to implement the game plan, and it shows because the moment that any kind of adversity reared its head, we were very quick to abandon said game plan and default back to the long kick down the line. It's a tired kick. It's also a lazy kick. That's not to mention it's probably the least effective kick in the game today. I'm pretty confident in saying that the long kick down the line to a tall target is part of the game plan. It's almost reminiscent of when we had Walker, Jenkins, Otten and Lynch. 2 would stay home and the other 2 would push up to present down the line. Tall forwards aren't working anywhere near hard enough. Rochelle,
You did that last week.
I know. What's wrong with me?
Raquel.
I can't remember his name when it's written in front of me. Rochelle and Rankin are getting up the ground. However, the tall forwards are letting everybody down with their lack of effort. Fogarty looks overweight. Walker looks like he's carrying an injury. Yeah, that's clear. And Burgess fades out of games too quickly. Everyone in defence can hold their heads higher. Thought they were all great today. Let go of the rope in the end, but I would too if it was coming in 50 times a quarter. The next 2 weeks defines what direction the board takes moving forward the rest of the year.
Whoa.
Very good message. Thanks, Jaden.
Incredibly
Very
good.
insightful. We're going to have to get Jaden in here too. I
Yeah.
mean, we need some people who actually know what they're talking about.
Yeah, stop relying on us.
Yeah, that'd be good
Jeez.
actually, Jaden.
Well
and
done.
also the doppelganger was Matilda from Instagram.
Oh, Matilda. Love it.
She just sent us a message.
So we're going to outnumber Sam at one point when Ben can't come in. It's going to be Kate, Matilda and Lauren.
Yeah.
And Sam.
Yes, if you do want to join a Here We Crow co-host roster,
Yes.
just get at us.
That was a
the-
good message from Jaden, though. Sorry, before we continued on.
Yes, I was just going to say the voice message is the audition.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jaden had some very good points there. I think everything you said is like pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And I don't know much about game plans and things like that. I think you can all probably gather that from my podcasting. But everything he says makes sense.
Yeah, I think the point about fitness is one that I've been questioning, but you just think you shouldn't be questioning it because of who our fit.
Burgess.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, but even like Pedler just looked gassed at before half time.
Yeah.
And maybe he's just running around,
Has this got something
out of position? But yeah,
do you reckon it's got something to do with that real short preseason we've
quite
had?
possibly.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
But
we
isn't
are.
he experienced enough to manage that, Burgess?
Well,
in
we're still a
players?
young group.
Yeah.
Like
True.
I feel like there's a lot of those players are still building up those tanks.
Yes.
So
To be fair,
That's
Pets always
fair.
looks a bit gassed because he's quite red.
That is true. Very true.
Issy just said, well, Nix has again said today that we won't be making any big changes and we're not far off.
yes, that's exactly what he
But,
said.
I mean, how many more rounds can they keep saying that with
Yeah.
Well,
these results?
barring just a big turnaround in form, you have to be. I'm pretty confident we're going to go 0-5. Put it
Yeah.
that way. And then what happens then?
Yeah.
You've got two what you'd class as really winnable games in Essendon and North. North we struggle against in Hobart, and that's where we've got them.
Yep.
Essendon are like relatively better form team. So
Yes.
there's no guarantee we'll beat them at home either.
No.
So,
Well, let's hear some selections from Bozza because that sauna must be steaming at this point. Looks like it could be a bit quiet. Let's see.
Evening, people. Round 0 and 4 from the sauna. Let's see if Nix has got any balls to do something this week. Couple of force changes, obviously, so pretty much think it's just going to be 2 changes. But I've gone with 8 myself, so
Wow.
getting rid of that
Yep.
absolute waste of space, number 251, B. Smith. It's time for him to retire immediately. He's got nothing to give whatsoever to this team. 4, obviously out injured. No comment. Jones, had enough of him. He's done. Shoal, garbage. Burgers, unfortunately, going to take him out just for the tall side of it and chuck him on the sub bench. Wayne injured. Pedler, done. Fogg, done. 8 outs. Ian, Strawn, Dowling, debut. Nank, Gallant, Cook, and Ned in from the sub. And as we said before, Burgers to be a sub bench. So that's it. 8, 0 and 4. Here we come.
I love Bozza's.
Technically 7 because Ned was in last week. But
Yeah, true.
No, he was sub.
No.
Wasn't he?
No, he wasn't.
No, he
Murphy
wasn't.
was.
Oh, Murphy was.
Yeah.
No, my bad. Sorry. I actually thought
Boz
the
is
same as
bad.
Boz. No, I thought the same. I forgot that Murphy was. Yeah, I love his persistence with naming Cook again. Like, Cook
Yeah.
just seems nowhere. Like, he's never going to get named.
look, like I said, Bozza needs to get in that roundtable discussion meeting somehow.
But
Yeah.
Maybe Nixie should have a sauna. Like maybe the problem here is
Yeah.
that Nixie's not spending enough time in a sauna.
correct.
Sounds like you think pretty clearly.
The swimming cap ain't gleaming enough.
Fogg is an interesting one. I tend to agree. I just can't see what he's doing that's effective.
No.
But then he's not
Sorry, who'd you
alone.
Fog.
Darcy
Oh,
Fogarty.
But yeah, he's not alone.
No.
When you've got Burgess being our main multiple goal kicker in the forward line, there's a problem.
Well, speaking of, Daniel Altman said on Instagram, really happy with Burgess's start. Hasn't ripped a game apart, but
Nah.
has looked dominant.
He's looked better than the other two, put it that
Yeah,
way.
which
has.
is scary, I think.
Yes.
It is scary.
Well, he's actually kicked a few goals.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
You know.
that's right.
And he can bend over.
Yeah. That's right.
Tex was back to flying at marks with one hand in the air again. Like,
Yeah.
just so he just should never.
That's-
Why they took him to Perth? Like, that is typical.
What about his turning circle?
Oh, but that is typical 2 years ago crap from this coaching department of not wanting to lose games too badly rather than just picking the team that they should pick.
Yeah.
That's reeked of that taking Tex over there. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
that's a longer discussion. We also had one from Quirky. My phone's just decided to go off saying, since you stopped doing your craft beer segment, 4 breweries have gone into voluntary administration.
Sorry.
Yeah, it might be us. So.
You've just had a message in the YouTube chat from your wife, Lizzie. When are you coming home, Sam? I was trying to find out if she's having the baby now.
Are you having the baby?
He'll be home shortly, Lizzie, because we're wrapping this up now.
You can call us if you're in labour. It's okay. We take that seriously.
Do you want to call the hotline, Lizzie?
So we've already talked about down the phone.
We've already talked about our contingency plan, which is 1, panic, and 2, press all the buttons.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
All right, let's wrap this shit show up. Thanks for joining us for another week of Here We Crow. Thanks very much, Kate, for filling in for Ben tonight.
Anytime.
Thanks, Dan and Sam.
You're welcome.
Thanks to our lovely YouTubers, YouTube live chat. Thanks to Nuz for giving us a ring. Thanks to everyone for your feedback, calling the Here We Crow phone. Now, that Here We Crow phone is going to be charged this week. So please give us a call. In fact, I might even open the line up at halftime and you could just talk to me. Let's see how that goes.
Did you say thanks to Beryl or whoever she was?
Mavis. Mavis, yes.
Mavis lives.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. See you at Gather Round. Go Crows.
We're gonna play you out tonight with the dulcet tones of.
Oh yeah, do it. Play that.
Isaac Rankin.
We'll play that on YouTube. Who cares?
Yeah, sorry. We've got an exclusive.
That's not Universal or anything, is it? I don't think so.
Guys, this is a Here We Crow exclusive.
Yeah, exclusive.
Not since Sujay Cook has a crow sung to this standard. So
Lizzie has said maybe I'll live stream the birth.
Yeah, I saw that.
Thanks to Isaac Rankin for coming on the show.
Don't you know I sit alone and wonder where I went from. I hear the sounds of the thunder.
Why is he wasting his time on football?
It makes me blue.
Or is he spending too much time on guitar and singing?
On my window.
He's the songbird of a generation.
Honey, there ain't no use shedding no tears for you.
It's like a combination of Fergie and Jesus.
Ain't no use in crying in the rain.
Wow.
Ain't no use in crying in the rain.
Get your phone torches out. That's what you do
Sorry.
at sad songs concerts.
I still feel the same way.
Thank you, Isaac.
Wow.
Yes.
Exclusive.
Fantastic.
Love your work,
Wow.
Isaac.
Yeah, well done.
See you later, guys.
See you, everybody.
Here we Crow.